Trishelle says, hey everybody, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. We are here to talk Traitors. This Traitors USA. I always forget to say USA. We are here to talk Traitors USA Season 2, Episode 8. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy any part of this video, thumbs it up. Leave some comments down below. Y'all, okay. The way that I always like to start off, and I be really rooting for Trishelle, right? Like low key, okay? Low key. I go into this hoping that Trishelle is not going to work my nerves into oblivion. And what does she do? What does she do? She shows me who she is every damn time. I can't. I can't take it anymore. We're going to read her for filth later because you acting stupid at this point. Let's start from the beginning. We're at breakfast, all right? So remember last week, they had that whole torch situation where MJ, Trishelle, Parvati, Bergie, and Kate were all up for murder. Really not Parvati because we know that she is a traitor. Y'all remember Trishelle was just losing her mind because CT didn't torch her, light her torch, light her flame, and save her. And I'm congested, y'all. Y'all gonna see me sniffing some Vicks. So she went through this whole tirade where she's trying to plead her case. Save me, save me. I've been stressed the whole game. White woman tears that nobody cares about. Certainly not me, right? So we get to breakfast. CT and Sheree are first. CT low key feels bad because he didn't save Trishelle, right? That's his homegirl, kind of, sort of, somewhat, depending on the season. He's so nervous, he almost spilled coffee on Sheree. Y'all know Sheree is just there, okay? Y'all see, don't nobody talk strategy with Sheree. Don't nobody vote for Sheree. Sheree is really just Sheree is just there. So we find out that Trishelle did not get murdered. Ugh. Bergie did, which I feel like Phaedra's not really. Well, I think Phaedra's playing a good game. Her voting out Bergie, who is like, who has said that he trusts her 100%. That was stupid. They should have voted out Trishelle. Nonetheless, Burgerlicious is gone. So Phaedra, okay, like it's a joke, right? But Phaedra don't be given a F at breakfast. So they're talking about Bergie's gone, and she's like, "Ooh, this was good." Talking about the coffee, and she be talking about the food. And while Phaedra is being herself, when you're playing this game and you have to act surprised and shocked, she's not doing the best at that. But I still think Phaedra's doing a good job. So Trishelle points out that Phaedra has a twitch in her eye, and because Trishelle is a poker player, that proves that she's a traitor. I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is why everybody's stupid. Trishelle had the same dumbass reasonings for Peppermint, who turned out to be a faithful. I'm sorry, but if I was on this show, Trishelle saying that she's been watching somebody and she's noticed behavior and she's taking notes will fall on deaf ears with me because of how the Peppermint scenario played out. But that's just me. So Trishelle tells Peter that she thinks Phaedra is a traitor. She says she picked up on Dan throwing a traitor under the bus. Now, Trishelle's not wrong because Dan did tell her that he knew for a fact who a traitor was. And then when he voted for Phaedra, yes, that was the dog whistle to anybody that, or Hail Mary, whatever you want to call it, alley-oop to anybody that was like actually paying attention. So Trishelle is not wrong, but Trishelle is dumb because why go after Phaedra when the masses are thinking Parvati, right? So Trishelle wants them to butter up Parvati to get rid of Phaedra. And I said that is the dumbest thing ever. This is why. Trishelle's reasoning is that's going to leave Parvati by herself, right? Why would you? So she thinks that it'd be an easy target to pick up Parvati the day after, which sure it might be, but you just blew up the spot today by going after somebody random. It doesn't make sense for you to have been dead set, balls to the wall on Parvati, and now y'all are flipping it and y'all want to vote somebody else. That just doesn't make sense. Because let's say we'll get there. We'll get there. So now Trishelle is like, you know what? If I get murdered, who cares? Girl, you do. What do you mean? You spent all last episode crying, bitching, moaning, and groaning, all but ready to sell your body to not get voted off, to not get murdered. What has changed in these 12 hours, sis? Stop it. Go somewhere with this fuckery, Trishelle. Now you don't care? Yes, the fuck you do. Oh, you cared enough when you ran and grabbed that shield? Stuck your hand in there with all them rats to get that shield. You cared enough then? Oh, dumbass. Gets on my fucking nerves. So, Peter pulls Parvati to the side, said that, and Parvati is like, I've been trusting Dan. This was my big mistake, and it just backfired on me. So MJ overhears and runs and tells everybody, Parvati and Peter, they're talking. That's gonna look sus, right? Because Peter is supposed to be king of the faithfuls, and for you to be, talking to the ops, you know what I mean? It's not looking the best. So they decide to call a truce, Peter and Parvati, about, knowing full and good damn well they don't trust each other, but they're still calling a truce, which isn't the best for, oh, I do need the light, which isn't the best for Phaedra, okay? So Peter tells Parvati to go after Phaedra with him. She reluctantly agrees. I'm not going to hold it against her because, girl, her back is against the wall, right? So they do this challenge called the Creepy Cabin where they out in the woods. Sheree's dumbass think that the wolves are dogs. Oh, what kind of dog was it, Sheree? That look like a German Shepherd to you, sis? That look like a husky? It looked like a wolf. And it could be one of them, like, wild dogs. Nonetheless, that ain't no dog, Gina. That ain't no dog, Gina, okay? So, they get to this cabin. They got some guy that I guess is like the king of Big Brother, whatever the case. I don't know him, but I think they call him Mr. Bill, Dr. Bill, whoever. So, they get locked up in this cabin. They got to find their way out. $20,000 is up for grabs. Every person that leaves, that opts out with the safe word haggis, they are going to lose $1,000 of whatever they were able to capture. So they got to go in and escape through these tunnels, right? These tunnels are full of bugs and rats, and it was frogs down there, roaches and maggots, and all the things that I'm not gonna play with in my lifetime. Okay, that is not part of my ministry. They'd have been mad at me because I wouldn't have even. Soon as I saw the cabin, I'd have been like, "What's the safe word? Haggis, haggis." I don't play with shit like that. Wouldn't have played with it at all. So the detriment is that the light switch either lights up the house or it lights up the tunnels. If it's lighting up the tunnels, then it's not going to light up the house. So whichever part is dark, that's where they dumping the shit in. White people shit. If y'all are offended by that, I'm sorry. But that's white people shit. Like, where y'all even collecting all this shit from? Oh, my nose. Where are y'all even collecting all this shit from? Get the lavender vapor rub, y'all. This is the best one, honestly. I don't want to slather it on my nose. Like, it's, y'all see what I'm doing. So, they're down up in there. Once the bugs get thrown in the house, MJ taps out immediately. Phaedra leaves shortly after. Phaedra said it was something in her ear. And then Sheree and Kate hug in as long as they could, but they ended up leaving, which left Kevin in the house because everybody else was in the tunnels. So at the end of the day, they were able to collect $15,000, but they only got to keep $11,000 because 4 of the people left. Trishelle there was a shield that CT saw, but he got it and saved it for and told Trishelle she can get it. Parvati and John. So she's talking to him. She starts fake crying. And I think she thought that she was convincing John. He clocked it right away, though. You can see all over John's face he wasn't believing her whatsoever. He didn't believe her. So she's telling him that she trusted Dan. That was her mistake. She befriended him, and that Dan's target is just on her back. She said that when she gets attacked, she turns into an ice queen. So that's why she's going through what she's going through now with her behavior, etc., etc. John tells her that she has the most guts out of anybody else that's playing, and he's making it seem like he's riding with her, but I could tell that John wasn't. I don't know about y'all, but to me it was very clear that John wasn't. He wasn't rolling with her like that. So Trishelle is going throughout the house and she's trying to sell everybody on Phaedra being a traitor. Again, and it's not because I want Phaedra to win, it's because it just doesn't make sense, right? It just doesn't make sense for you to be head on, y'all are dead set on something being one person, then for y'all to flip it and go towards another person out of the blue is crazy, right? So Trishelle is telling everybody that, if I'm wrong, I'll burn my notebook. Now, Phaedra walks by, comes in the room, and is super suspicious, with everybody starting to get up and walk away. Phaedra is so aloof, she don't think anybody is suspecting her. I don't know why, Phaedra, when somebody voted for you last week. Why would you, okay, Phaedra. So we get to the round table, and this is where it gets fun. So Parvati came out the gate and was like, I guess I got to say something, y'all. Let me get into it. So Parvati comes out and is like, when I become attacked, or when I feel attacked, I become a brick wall, right? That's why this, that, and the other has been going on. She said she made friends with Dan, not knowing that he was a traitor, and because of that, she has just clammed up like a shell. Trishelle then is like, well, based on her notes, I look back in my notes. I don't have a lot of notes on Parvati, but I do have a lot of notes on this black woman, Phaedra, because that's what it gave me. What do you mean you don't have any notes on her when all y'all have been doing is talking about why Parvati is a traitor? See, this is where Trishelle's lack of fucking street smarts, or maybe even its common sense, has come into play. You have been dead set on it being Parvati. So how can you now say, when I look back at my notes, I don't have a lot of notes on her? But now you suddenly have notes on Phaedra, just like you had irrefutable proof that Peppermint was a traitor too? And it's not because they're black, because somebody's going to say it. It's literally the stuff that Trishelle is saying that doesn't make sense. If you're going to vote for somebody, vote for them. If you are standing on Phaedra, stand on Phaedra. But I feel like what got Trishelle is you can't say, oh, I don't have a lot of notes on you, Parvati, even though I said that I knew for a fact, but now I have all these notes on Phaedra. So what's it going to be next week when you suspect somebody else because y'all said something about traitors, and let's say Sandra's ass coughs? Is it now going to be, well, I've really had a lot of notes about you, Sandra, too? It's the consistency that doesn't make sense when it comes to Trishelle. Oh, ugly ass. She makes me sick. So Phaedra was like, you got notes on me. Trishelle said I do. So Trishelle is like, you're never worried or bothered about somebody being murdered, and you're never surprised about who was murdered at breakfast. Here's the thing, Trishelle is now just simply regurgitating what Dan said, which didn't stick last week. So why would you use those same points? Why would you use, so Dan did those points last week about Phaedra, her reactions at breakfast. Why would you use those same points when they did not stick last week? So Phaedra said, well, I'm sorry, I'm not frantic like you. cracked her face. Because Trishelle has been acting frantic, right? So Trishelle is like, okay, fine. I have more points. I have more points. Get into it, sis. Trishelle points out that Dan voted for you and said that I think he just turned on you. So John asked Phaedra, well, why would Dan vote for you? You know, Phaedra was like, I mean, why would he give up another traitor? That's just not smart. You know, why would he ruin the game like that or whatever? And everybody is like, So then Kate is like, yeah, I mean, it would have been great if when I was playing at the last, I guess she was on last season, if the traitors would have, kind of spoon fed us like that. So then Kevin said that Phaedra has an eye twitch when she talks, and they had the audacity, the nerve, the gall, the temerity to ask her, have you always grown up with eye twitches? I just said, let me dot your eye and see how your eye twitch. I'm sorry, but between the eye twitches, asking John if he's really asthmatic, like, come on, y'all. So then Phaedra is like, I have never had somebody say something about my eye twitching. They show some flashbacks. It's not her eye twitching so much as it is her squinting. But, okay. So then John is like, I have an observation, and this is what threw me, y'all. John was like, Parvati, you're the Duchess of Deception and the Mistress of Murder. I said, John, I know you fucking lie. The way John was like, fuck all the bullshit you said earlier. I ain't believe none of that. Y'all, that threw me. Oh my God. Y'all have no idea how hard I laughed at that. Because it came out of nowhere. We talking about Phaedra. John was like, nah, we gonna stick with Parvati. So, John points out that she's always worried about banishment, but never about murder, which is actually a really good observation. And I kind of feel like y'all should have been talking about Phaedra, because Phaedra's never worried about anything. Phaedra never gives her all in challenges. Phaedra never tries to get a shield. These are the things that y'all should be clocking about Phaedra, not her fucking eye twitching. Focus on the fact that this lady does not care about shields, never tries to get shields, will tap out early of a challenge, will do the absolute least, and Phaedra is never worried about being murdered. Hell, Phaedra don't be worried about being banished. That's why y'all should be clocking Phaedra, not for the silly things like she don't react at breakfast, because a lot of them don't have big reactions at breakfast. So, John also said that when everybody went around and was pleading for their life last night before the murder, Parvati didn't, and it's because she knew that she was safe. And I said, wow. I peeped that, but I didn't know if anybody else had noticed. So, kudos, shout out to you, John, for that. So then Peter was like, nope, redirect. Phaedra, you don't even act like a faithful. You don't have that natural fear. Phaedra said, oh, because you can't get the faithfuls? And he was like, I didn't say that. That's how you act, though. That's how you act, Peter. Peter does act as if he's just the biggest and the baddest, and he can do whatever it is because he's he's King Faithful. And if y'all don't go with what he's saying, that you have to be wrong. The way Peter's playing this game to me is reckless. It's very reckless. So Kate then said, y'all were very passionate about Parvati last night. Did those reasons just evaporate? Trishelle was like, I read my notes again. I said, girl, fuck you and them notes. You don't have no notes. You don't have notes, because if you had notes, you would have been said Phaedra before this. Your notes is what Dan told you. Phaedra said, so then Peter is like, well, I had a conversation with Parvati that changed my mind. Phaedra said, yeah, because y'all got a backdoor deal. Because when we were sitting in the armory, y'all had the conversation and you told Parvati that y'all were going to work together to get people out. So everybody at the table was like, what? So then Kevin is looking like, oh. So now Kevin, MJ, and John, now they look away. Peter, your team is dwindling, my guy. Your team is dwindling. So they were like, yeah, we No, that's not what happened. So now everybody's looking away. So now they're asking Kate, why are you defending Phaedra so hard? She said it's not a matter of defending Phaedra, but y'all been so hard on poverty, and then now y'all want to flip it, and now you're working with her. That shit don't look right, and it doesn't. Trishelle ruined that plan. Had y'all went in and said, okay, if all Trishelle had to do was say, I think Phaedra is a traitor, right? Trishelle thinks Phaedra is a traitor. If you think she's a traitor, cool. Get out poverty, because that's who y'all know y'all have the votes to get her out. Get out poverty, and then next y'all can focus on Phaedra without Phaedra even suspecting it. But now Phaedra knows that y'all are on to her. Trishelle blew this up. Trishelle blew it up. So Kate was like, Dan didn't drop a clue. Y'all keep saying he's the greatest Big Brother player. He sucked at playing this game. And I said that. Dan didn't play a good game. So time to vote. Phaedra votes for Parvati. I think they understood each other and that was cool. MJ votes for Parvati. Sandra votes for Parvati. Peter votes for Phaedra. John votes for Parvati. Parvati votes for Phaedra. Again, they understood each other, so it was cool. No love lost. Kevin votes for Phaedra. Trishelle for Phaedra. Sheree for Parvati, CT for Parvati. He said, I can't vote against somebody that lit my torch for a known liar. I said, get into it, CT. And then Kate votes for Parvati, so Parvati leaves. So then you hear Trishelle, I'm going to burn my notebook. Burn yourself to hell. I am so... Phaedra says she's trying not to cry. Phaedra's laying it on thick. Sandra says she about to be the queen of this castle. I said, get into it. Trishelle ruined the plan. She just did. Kevin now feels a way about Peter. Can't trust him. Telling MJ this. I think John feels a way about Peter now too. Peter is now trying to talk to Kate. And Kate is like, why should I believe you? Why should I believe anything that you're saying right now? You went in there. You're not even faithful to your other faithfuls. You're a traitor amongst your faithfuls, which is true. Kevin is like, when do we switch up? Why is Phaedra even thrown into the mix? So Phaedra is given, Alan comes and tells her, you have to give a faithful an ultimatum. I think it's face to face. Either you come join me and be a traitor, or you're murdered. So she picks Kate because, Kate gonna do all the reckless shit that she... They're never gonna suspect Kate. One, because Kate joined last, and Kate is just a bitch to everybody. So I was hollering when they brought Kate down and they put her in that cell. Kate said, I guess I don't understand what I did wrong. And that's it. Personally, I would have picked Sandra, but I would have picked Sandra. That's just me. I would have picked Sandra, but I think Kate is actually a really good choice. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Y'all think Phaedra's really in danger, or do y'all think people are going to flip up and go against Peter now? Peter is acting like a traitor. He is. Let me know what you guys thoughts about this episode. Happen to comment, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, all that stuff. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.